Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Brian from the Disability Digest here with you today. I'm just working on my controls. Bear with me. I'll get it figured out here in a minute. There we go. Welcome to our YouTube Live this Wednesday with Nadine Castillo and Mr. Philip Price. Thank you for joining the program today. Today we're going to talk about money. Supplementing your income. Creative ways to do it. I like that, Philip. How much you can make, get your benefits, how much you can make, keep your benefits. Some ideas to do it that others have successfully done. And special segment today, you're going to get some insider tips on actual skills and what you can do to improve these skills as part of our ongoing skill building session. That's what we have on tap for today. So thank you for joining. Also, we're going to have a Q&A session at the end of our income segment today, right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
that's what we have on tap. And I'm a few minutes late today, stuck in virtual traffic, so that one's on me, but glad everybody's here as I see you piling in today. Okay, so let's have at it. I'm going to share my screen here, and I think I am. Well, maybe I'm not. My screen, for some reason, is not sharing. I'll keep working on that.
Yeah, we do see your screen.
You do? Oh, there we go. I see what happened. There's a new feature in Zoom where it shows I have to toggle, or I had to toggle. Okay, there we go. I'm going to be okay, folks. I promise. I promise. Yeah. Yeah, good. So if you're new here, welcome. The Disability Digest. We provide this event and other resources for you to help you get your disability benefits approved, help you keep them, and help you maximize them. Our objective is to be a trusted source, like a place you can come and stop in here every week, listen, learn, engage, meet other people, hopefully leave fulfilled. And if you are, share it with others, because we do this for you and it's our privilege to serve you. So that's what we have on tap here today. All right, so we've been doing a few of these sessions on supplementing your income, and I feel this is really a critical time for individuals, and it's a good time to supplement your income because there's some uncertainty on what's going on out there in the disability world. And I do totally realize and respect that this is not for everybody. But I do have a core belief that if you're a disability recipient, you may even be bedridden, but there is something that you can do that may not be at the level of generating income. So hopefully you will learn something from this, some inspiration from this event as well. So that's what we have on tap. So the rules of the game. I encourage you to understand the rules of the game. It is perfectly fine to make money, and when you're approved for disability, it's okay to make money, and you can do it every month and keep benefits. So I'm going to come back to that one. You can earn money while you're going through the approval process. That is much more challenging. The regulation allows you to earn $1,620 a month. However, any earnings that you're showing can create a conversation for Social Security to say, well, if you had more reasonable accommodations, or you were seeing a different doctor, or whatever the situation might be, that you could work full time. So be very careful about working and trying to get approved for your disability benefits. When you're approved for disability, different thing. It's, in my opinion, it's much more black and white, if you will. I've been running the Disability Digest since June of 2020. 26. And after 6 months, we had our first advocate working here. That was a disability recipient, and we've had disability recipients working here since then. By the way, we're hiring, hint, hint, if you're looking for something to do. And we haven't had anybody that's lost their benefits. Now, people do get reviewed. That's part of the game, and they would likely have gotten reviewed anyway. And the reason why it's worked for us is that we know the rules of the game. We keep people working within the allowed amount. So from firsthand experience, that's what I have to share with you. And the threshold is $1,160 a month. And that's probably in the show notes. If it's not, you can contact us at support, or Nadine, maybe you can drop that in the chat so that you don't have to believe me. You can go look at the rules out there from Social Security. So ideally, if you make $800 to $1,000 a month every month and you're a little bit below the allowed amount, you can do that every month without having any impact on your benefits. You don't have to use the trial to work program. You just have to let Social Security know that you're going to be, doing some work, right? So it's as simple as that. The Ticket to Work program is a whole other conversation. That's for people, excuse me, that have the aspirations to work above the allowed amount on a consistent basis. So I encourage people to have the mindset to work below the allowed amount for a consistent period of time. If you're interested in trying your work at a higher level, then do it. But going from no work to like 25, 30, 40 hours a week, I haven't seen that be successful on scale. So baby steps, that's what I suggest. All right, so let's talk about some of the ways in which we know that people have been successful that are disability recipients. And Philip and Nadine are working with our members like day in and day out. And maybe there's some ways that you've learned lately that people are supplementing their income. But I do know a lot of that work that has a high probability of success is remote work. Is there anything that stands out, any certain careers that you've seen?
Yeah, so definitely remote work. And there's a lot of remote work that you guys can do, like aside from doing customer service role work, there are other uh gig that you can do, such as, video editing, photo editing. Yeah, those are just a few to mention.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Or if you're into social media managing, that's also a skill that you can learn. That's a very in demand work from home remote job right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Trying to turn my screen share off. I've got an interesting setup today. Let's see what this does. I think I've got it going like twice or something. I don't know. Yeah, so those are good ideas. I know that we use a platform called Upwork that a lot of our advocates work through. And you can go into Upwork and maybe you have a background as a teacher or a nurse, or you
Yeah.
speak a second language. And you can go in there and you can create your own work. There's a lot of need for language,
Mhm.
tutorials and or whatever it is that's your profession. So these are big picture ideas. And if you're doing something like right now, it's supplementing your income, I'd love to hear from you. Like drop a note, like I'm doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So at one point in time, we did workshops for people that were attempting to go back to work. And there's a story that stands out um, for me. And, we'd have groups monthly where people would come in and then we'd brainstorm and kick around ideas like what did they like? What were they good at? Um, And there was this one individual that she's like, you know what, I I like to just sit around. It's pretty much what I do. Um, and so we just kind of kept riffing on that idea. And what became of it is she started a business. This is a real deal. She started a business called Sitting Around. And what she did was she would advertise as somebody that was insured, bonded, would go sit at somebody's house so they didn't have to take the day off. So the carpet cleaner could come, the plumber could come and do that type of work sitting around. She was able to make that into like a consistent business. And it worked well because they paid her X amount of dollars an hour and they went off to work. So there's creative ways that you can do it, especially now with the technology that's out there. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, or also if you have like a talent in handicraft, like making accessories or something, you can also sell those online. That's another way to earn
Mm-hmm.
extra income. Yeah.
Right. So you'd need to have like the production. And if you sold them domestically right now, you'd be great because they can't get anything into the United States. It's costing a fortune. So that could be your Flugel binder right there.
Yeah.
Um, some other things that I have talked about and promoted in the past that I like is like what we're doing right now online. The social media environment, if you have a a passion or something that you like, you can simply start with one of these things. This is called a phone, where you can shoot videos, put content up, create an audience, follow the process to monetize it. I've done other shows on this. Some people have actually started channels. Yes, you need to do it consistently, but you can shoot and produce content and answer questions all on a part-time basis, and it could be something that you're passionate about, like many of you are involved in support groups or other things tied to conditions that you have or charitable causes, things like that. There was this lady is in Florida. She started doing this, built a channel for children that are trafficked, which I thought was a great cause. Super passionate about it. So it's something that she liked. It made a difference. And when you don't have to charge anything, once you get going, you can get into the partnership program like we are with YouTube, and they pay you for publishing videos. So they put ads on some, or other people are subscribed. So it's a way for you to produce and provide free content and get paid for it. Yeah. Any other ways stand out? No.
Yeah.
I have one last one on this topic. We have launched a referral program where
Oh,
you
yeah.
can refer us members and partner with us to help them get approved. It was in a couple episodes ago. And I know if you look in the description of this event, you'll see the link. It'll say refer a friend. But you can earn $100 for referring somebody that goes through our approval process. We're going to talk more about that in a minute. And then $100, the second $100 when they get approved. Now they can get approved by using our disability approval course, or they can get approved by using our representation. It doesn't matter. As long as they go through and they get access to the course and we put them into the course, they get evaluated, and we analyze their strengths and weaknesses for their case and provide that information to them. That's the first 100, and the second 100 is when they get approved. So this is, I don't know of anybody else out there. I have colleagues in the industry that think I'm totally nuts. Maybe I am. But we are actually compensating you for helping them to go through the approval process, regardless if they do it on their own or if they use representation services. So That's a great way. So if you did that, let's say that you referred one person a month, and helped them go through, and 80% of those got approved. I mean, that's $1,500, $1,800 a year right there. Possibly more actually that you could do by just helping people out. So 1.9 million people applied for disability last year, 684,000 got approved. So, and our approval rates are far, far, far better than that. So you'd be helping a friend out as well as yourself. Okay. Do you see my screen now, or is the screen share off?
Oh, we see your screen.
Great.
I really am wondering what's going on with this thing. All right. I'm going to worry about that later. But so when you see my screen, all right. Let's see. What would we like to do next? I know. So I wanted to have a special segment in this event and going forward to help folks like sharpen your skills. And what I've found is oftentimes people want to go back to work, even they come here and apply for positions, but they've been out of work for a while, and their skills are not as sharp as they should be or could be in order to secure a position. So going forward for the next few weeks anyway, we are going to provide some skill building tips as part of our live event to help you folks out. Now, and not only are we going to do that, you're going to get it from a really good source, which is Nadine that's with us. And I say that because Nadine works here as an advocate. You see her in the YouTube events, and maybe you've had the pleasure of speaking with her. But Nadine works here as a team leader and working and helping others. And she has 16 years of experience and working and guiding people to help them make money. So it's just really a natural fit. Her skill level at doing this is far different, better than mine is. And so she's in the work that you've done like basically the training management on a big picture, but if you bring that down to like the lower level and the skills, it's like how to use different tools like WordPress and uh, Infusionsoft and PayPal and Zoom, and then a lot of that I expect is like what to say, how to communicate with people, right? So we're excited to have you do these short bits of information for people. So without further ado, thank you. I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you so much for that introduction, Ryan. And if you would allow me to share my screen.
I would love for you
Well,
because that means I can turn mine off. So you go ahead and take it over. I might
okay, let
maybe
me see.
maybe I have to make you a co-host. Let me do that.
Yep.
Okay. Give it a shot now.
All right, let me try that now. Okay, I guess I'm already sharing my screen.
You are
All
sharing
right,
your
so
screen and it has you on one side, the view that I have, and the visual on the other.
okay, great. So, hi there, everyone. So now we've talked about side gigs, working from home, navigating the system, but no matter what path you choose, one thing is clear. Your soft skills are just as valuable as your strategy. So, in this segment, I'm going to share two powerful communication tools that can help you stand out, build trust fast and open doors, whether you're talking to a potential client, an employer, or even with a benefits representative. So let's jump in. Tool number one, clear and concise communication, mastering the first 30 seconds. So let's start with what I call the power of the first 30 seconds. So that impression is gold, especially when you're advocating for yourself or pitching your skills for a job or a gig. So here's how you're going to make it count. Number one, be clear. You start with introducing your name and your purpose. So basically, keep it simple. So, for example, if I'm calling you on the phone, I'm going to say, "Hi, I'm Nadine from the Disability Digest. I'm calling to explain how you can use your membership that you registered for to help you in getting your disability income approved fast." So, something like that. Number two, be slow because when we're nervous, we tend to rush. So take a breath, speak a little slower. It helps people follow you and take you seriously. Because sometimes when you talk so fast, people will not understand what you're saying. So take it slow. Third, be concise. So say what matters most first. Don't feel like you have to explain everything up front. So a clear, confident intro opens the door to a deeper conversation. So whether you're applying for a job or asking for help, those first 30 seconds sets the tone and clarity builds confidence. Okay? So two, tool number two, active listening. I would say that this is your underrated superpower. So now, yeah, let's talk about something we don't always focus on because we always talk about communication, how to say things, how to communicate, but we don't always talk about listening. But again, this is going to be one of your superpowers. This is what makes you stand out in conversations, especially in interviews or, during even during customer service roles when you're making calls. So here's how you can practice it. So number one, be present, no distractions. Okay. So on the phone, when you're talking to someone, that simply means giving them a little verbal cues like, got it, or I hear you. And then if you're on a video, that means eye contact and as simple as nodding in a conversation. And then, second, reflect back. So, repeat or paraphrase what you just heard. So, for example, you can say, "So, to be sure I understand, you're looking for someone with experience in customer support, right?" So, it's simply like paraphrasing what you heard that would give the person you're talking to the impression that you are actually listening. Okay. So this shows that you're engaged and it also helps avoid miscommunication. And third, ask thoughtful questions. So this shows initiative and interest, and it can turn a basic conversation into a meaningful connection. So, how does this matter to the topic that we have today? So, here's the thing, whether you're doing phone work, freelancing, your caregiving, or even in your application for Social Security benefits, how you communicate matters. So, a clear, concise communication opens doors, but active listening builds trust and keep those doors open. So these skills can help you land remote work, keep clients happy, or advocate for support. And you know what's the best part? They're free to develop and they're always in demand. So as you explore to supplement your income, don't forget to build up your communication toolbox. It might just be the most valuable asset that you will have. So yeah, that is it for the soft skills spotlight for today. So stick around, guys. Brian has still more practical real world tips coming your way. So thank you so much.
That was gold right there. Thank
Thank
you. Thank you very much. Yeah, and I especially, I mean, I like you could use these same skills with in your relationships as you do with your work pursuit or your disability. These are just life skills. So, wow,
Yeah,
thank you.
agree.
Good. Yeah, so join us in the comments if you have any feedback or any questions specifically for Nadine on that.
Yeah.
So that's great. I can't wait to hear some of the others that are coming up in the next week. So that's awesome. One last thing I want to make sure that we're clear about before we get into a Q&A, or actually, do you want to just give people a heads up on the Q&A and what the protocol is before I do the last segment here?
Yes. Um, so for our Q&A later, by the way, guys, I'm gonna be sending a link for Zoom so you can join us live. And if you have any questions, you can put them on the comment section so that we would be able to know what your question is about before we let you in live. Or you can also send a chat in Zoom for that.
Yep. Okay. Great. So the last thing regarding income is make sure that you do two things for reporting. One is when you start your pursuit of work is let Social Security know. And a common statement that we receive from people is like, I don't know how much I'm going to make. That's totally fine. Uh, but even if you're doing like something where you might make $300 or $400 a month, you're doing it independently, you're selling your hobby online, is just let them know and say, listen, I hope to make, $300, $400 a month, but I really don't know. It depends on my health. And I'm just getting started and I'm following the guidelines to let you know. Usually that's all that they ask. But that is in your award letter. That is the deal that you have with Social Security upon approval. That a lot of people look at that letter and they're like, woohoo, I'm approved and forget it. So that's one. Um, Understand your tax ramifications. So some people are subject to taxes and some are not. I think it's 25,000 as an individual, 32,000 or 35,000 as a married couple. It's in your award letter, and I've done other videos on this, but I'm not a tax guy. I'm just saying that you do need to be aware. If you're under that, then it's fine, but if it's over that, you could be responsible for paying your taxes. So just those two things. So let's get into it and take some questions. How would you guys like to proceed? You want to like Philip? I know you've got some questions from the fastest growing Facebook group on the planet. You want to cover those first, or what do you
Yeah,
think?
that's fine. That's fine.
Okay.
All right, let's go here. First one. Excuse me. I'm so frustrated. Why do I need to go to a CE exam with a psychologist? I have monthly records all the way back to 2022. Is this unnecessary and more time consuming?
It's standard part of the process, is what it is. So 72% of the people, according to the last report, go for independent medical exam or CE, or whichever you want to call it. So it's even in part of our disability approval course because it's normal. And the whole process is frustrating, but I just encourage you to look at it this way. It is a game. There are rules to the game, and if you want to play the game, then you've got to kind of follow rules. Not kind of, you do have to follow the rules if you want to get approved. So we can help you with that at the Disability Digest. We have a disability approval course. We're going to talk more about that in a minute. You can join us as a member. Maybe you already have. Get access to the disability approval course after you've spoken to one of our great advocates. And there's no charge for the course, and there's a specific lesson in there. for what to do. Do not go to this exam unprepared. It's critical. So that's why the course is helpful. A quick side note on that, Philip. I learned at a conference like a couple weeks ago that I was at, that if somebody has a physical impairment, then, and like it's a specific, like something that you can see on imaging, they're not going to be sent for a an exam anymore. So if somebody has a back fusion or something like that, just to by the way for everybody.
Good to know.
Yeah.
All right, next. This may be simple, but I just want to make sure I'm filling out my initial application and have indicated a result of my conditions. I'm working very minimally, well under SGA. However, it asks, are you still unable to work because of your conditions? If I say no, because I'm working a few hours a week, it then asks me on what day I became able to work. So I'm confused.
Yeah.
Do they consider working under SGA not able to work because I've never became 100% unable? But now I'm working and earning only a fraction of what I need to before my medical conditions worsened. Not sure how to answer this seemingly simple series of questions.
Yeah, that's a really good one. That emphasizes the what I pointed out earlier. So the way to answer that is I'm not able to work full time, but you are working, and that's going to be different than just simply, supporting that you're not working. And I understand that's not the situation, but I'm just pointing out the difference. So I'm unable to work full time, and then go in through the next. Now, in the disability approval course, there's different segments in there, like what you need to prove, how to explain that segment, and then support it with information in the remarks section of your application. That's at the end. That's where you can put in more information, and you should. So those are my tips on that.
Okay. Next one, how is SGA calculated? Is it per month or do they average the year?
Oh, that's a really good question. If you are working like an employee, you're doing 15 hours a week of customer support time, then you're going to receive a W-2 statement, right? So that's, if you're employed, they look at it on a weekly basis, really. So you need to report, it's reported accordingly. Now, if you are an independent contractor on Upwork doing customer support, then your income is going to be looked at based on your tax returns. So if you file your, not if, when you file your taxes, how much money did you make, throughout the year? And then they might, if they drill down to an audit, they could look at it, and maybe there's going to be some time that you're going to be at $1,200 a month, and other times you're going to be at $800. But if you utilize your expenses properly, that's all going to average out, and they're going to look at it on an annual basis as well. I'm explaining this kind of the more long way, but so difference between if you're employed or if you're filing your taxes. That's the point.
All right, last one here, and this one's going to be a little spicy, so
Oh boy.
I'll let you answer. Says, why does your company always claim to cost no cost when every single case is based on 25% of back pay or $9,200 max? You get paid from back pay, right? The lawyers charge that. The person who I spoke with in your company could not even speak English well. was not in the USA and not a lawyer. I know you could delete the post and block me, but I prefer to make this clear. Are you guys lawyers? Do you get paid? As mentioned, and most of your staff are not even in the USA.
Yeah. Well, I know you're not in the USA because you're in Texas.
That's right.
That's a whole different deal. That's a really good question. I'm not, I'm actually excited to answer it. So I see where there's some confusion here. So you're looking at the Disability Digest right here, and we provide a 100% free membership to people that are on or in need of their disability benefits. And individuals can click the green button here, which almost 200,000 people are members here now, right? And you fill out your profile, and based on your profile, we put you into courses that are relevant for you. So let's take the disability approval process, which is where this highly heated question has come from. In the disability approval process, we provide a disability approval course, the Social Security Disability Approval Course. It's just happened that I had this up because I was going to explain it at the end. And once you join us as a member, which there's no charge for, you can meet with an advocate that you're assigned. You contact them, they contact you, and they'll put you into the appropriate section of the disability approval course. If you're going to just get started, it's section 1, how to file your application. Section 2, what to do while waiting. If you got denied, reconsideration, appeal. Ideally, we want to get you all the way up to 5. No charge for the course. We've brilliant contribution from John Ginsberg, Carl Osterhow, Attorney James Mitchell Brown, Michael Sex, all kinds of really good industry experts. There's still no charge for this. You can represent yourself. Thousands have, save all the legal fees. Not everybody is capable of executing the information that's required to get approved. So we do offer representation. I am not an attorney. I'm a non-attorney authorized to work and represent cases for Social Security. I go through certification every year. I have to adhere to certain guidelines. And the fee structure is the same as Attorney Ginsberg or Attorney Carl Oster. We get paid the same amount. There's one set of rules. So the option here is you can use the course or you can use representative. Doesn't matter to us. We only represent a certain amount anyway every month. So if you're interested in representation and the timing works, then we'll take you on. That's the deal. So if you're approved for disability, then that's a whole other segment of information, and there isn't any application for attorneys there. And we do these online events. We help people with job and income, with housing, and their insurance decisions. There's no charge for all that. So the confusion, in my opinion, may have come in is that somebody just looked at us and like, oh, the only thing that they do is represent. So that's part 1. The second part was the verbal communication piece. Is that right, Philip?
Yes.
All right. Let me take a breath. Okay. So here at the Disability Digest, we have a global force of individuals. We have folks in the United States like myself, Philip, Daphne, others. We have individuals that are in other countries like the Philippines, like Nadine, who have done beautiful work. And I have used this hybrid model for 14 years. And the reason why I do it and I stick to it is that the Filipino culture is ideal for individuals that are going through a life-changing event. They're highly empathetic, they listen well, they care, and they do the work here great. We hire people from the US. That's not an issue. It really comes down to performance. So for us, like on the disability side, when we are working on cases, I've been to conferences. We win at like a record rate. And if we don't get the case approved at the initial or reconsideration, yes, we have lawyers that work with us. Many that I just showed you, Osterhow, Ginsburg does work for us for cases that go to court. But the key thing here is for the business, we give all our information away. You're here today, you have questions, I answer it. I'll tell you how to do everything. It's up to you to go out and execute it. But if you don't want to do it, then we're here for you. And that's the model. So for us to do it, the personnel piece is absolutely critical to work with individuals like Philip and Nadine. And yeah, we're a for-profit, and we make money through the YouTube program. We win cases and we get paid, but that's optional. And we help people with their insurance decisions. So great question. Maybe I put a little bit too much into that one, but I want to make sure it sticks out there for people and they get it. And coming here and working, listen, you don't have to be a member here. I'm not saying we've got the best Flugel binder out there. It's just what I believe that resonates with me. I do not believe at the core that everybody needs to have a disability representative. That's why we invest so much money in the course. And that's why it's worked incredibly well for years. In addition to that, if they do have a representative and they use the course, they know what the hell's going on. And that's key. So thank you.
One last point on that is that I can attest myself that there's no cost. Didn't cost me anything. I joined the Disability Digest as a member and used the whole program, and I got approved on my own. I did it by myself. And Brian can attest to that.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, I have one last question, and this is for you, Brian. Do you think that the current situation we're in with the tariffs and what's going on with the tariffs, that this could or will affect those of us that are on the disability programs?
Oh. So like the fact that we are like jacking up our import tariffs on like our good neighbors to the north and south and everybody else on the planet.
Correct.
Yeah. I don't know for certain because it's too early in the game, but I do have some things that I encourage to consider. Like the cost of goods, like individuals that are disability recipients are on a fixed income, right? Here's one example. I'm in Vermont, close to the Canadian border. And in the US, our paper products mostly come from Canada. So I'm going to isolate this to kind of maybe inappropriate topic, toilet paper. Let's just take toilet paper. So 66% of all the toilet paper used in the United States is from either raw goods, where it's brought into the US and the toilet paper is made, or the finished goods. So with that tariff that's put on, it's going to cost you more to go more, right? I mean, that's one simple thing. And then you can look at anything else that is impacted out there. So that's on the consumer side. That's why in part we're doing this, like, make some money, or the referral partner program that we have. But I think, Philip, it's also important to understand what this might do to the Social Security system. I've got two other thoughts on this. One's the Social Security system, and then the positive impacts. I'm going to cover the positive impacts first. This could create more jobs domestically for the topic that we're talking about. More domestic manufacturing, more opportunity here. I don't see that being originally is what's going to happen, but long term, that's really the focus of this. but short term, here is what I expect that we are faced with. If this rolls out and we go through the projected job losses like that are anticipated, that creates a soft economy. So the economy is not real good. And in a soft economy, people that are working are looking for income because they're not working. And many people look at the disability system. So the applications are likely going to spike. So we did 1.9 million last year, which was a lot. And we already have all these challenges with the system. So if we get this, or when we get this influx of additional applicants in, it's going to choke the system, not only for other applicants, but for anybody that needs to deal with Social Security on overpayment or a CDR, all of that stuff. It might actually reduce the CDRs because historically, the primary focus has been like, let's deal with the applicants as best we can. So that's my kind of 3 points. It's going to be cost of goods that's going to go up. Maybe ideally, if this works, there'll be more jobs long term. Short term, I really think the Social Security system is going to take a hit. So if you want to make your case stand out when somebody looks at it, you want to make sure you do it right. That's just, we show you how to do it right here. It's up to you to follow the option, either do it yourself or have it done for you, but do it right. That's a good question.
All right, that was it for the questions today. We'll hand it over to Nadine, see if she's got any.
All right, Philip. Thank you.
Ah.
Thank you for your group.
Thank you so much, Philip. So now, guys, I'm going to send a link for the Zoom room to those of you who would like to join us here and ask your questions live. But before we move on to that, as we wait for someone to join us, I do have a few questions here from the comments, Brian, if I may.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, first question, does PayPal income report to disability? So I'm not sure what he exactly means, but I think he's asking if any income that comes into PayPal, does it count to disability income? And the person who's asking that is wanting to join us. So I think I'm just
All
going to let him
right.
in.
Come on down. Tax question. My non-specialty.
Oops. Hang on. Where is he?
Actually, I do have some insight from my own PayPal associated to the business. So, yeah.
All right. I'm letting him in. His name is Gus, by the way.
Right. Gus. I see the blue admit button is still there.
Yeah, it says joining.
Okay. All right. I just want to see, can we TikTok? Does that count as income? Yeah, TikTok
Yeah,
would
that's
definitely
another
count as
question.
income. Yeah, I'm just kind of picking away at a few here while Gus is on his way in. TikTok would be the same as building a social media, presence on YouTube. Yeah. You'd have to talk to a tax person about this, but if you're producing content on YouTube, I do know some other producers that have had content that's been out there for a while that still generates revenue that is considered royalty revenue. And anytime you have royalty revenue, that revenue doesn't count towards your allowed amount. So, like an insurance, I think insurance is a great income stream for somebody who's a disability recipient, because the only income that counts against your allowed amount is the amount that you make on the first enrollment or sale. If it's after that, like the residuals that go on, that doesn't count. And I know that because we have an interview on our YouTube channel from a member who went through the entire approval process and had over $2,000 in residual income from insurance policies which is well over the allowed amount, and the judge approved the case because that was considered as royalty income. Yeah. All right.
Right. So yeah, while we wait for Gus, we have another question here. It says, I was coded straight from an employer that any month I made the equivalent or more than my ABD of $192 a month, that I would have to pay that amount back. There were 3 months I made less, and I was forced to pay those months back, even though under the amount they just told me. So I'm not very familiar with that.
Okay, this is a really good point. When I say the allowed amount, I'm speaking to Social Security disability recipients. If you are an SSI recipient, it's a different set of rules, and it's based on like other aspects, other income, your living situation, in kind. It's difficult. There isn't any general rule there. However, what I would encourage you to do if you're working is to look at an ABLE account that we profiled here before, because you can channel that income into an ABLE account and it doesn't count towards your allowed amount. You need to have condition and age qualifications to get in there, but and you can earn, I think it's like most of them, they have several different flavors of it, but it's like $100,000 you can have in an ABLE account that you can use then for housing and other expenses. So 2 things for you on that. Looks like Gus is here.
Yep, he's here.
Gus, I see that you're logged in, but I don't see you and I don't hear you. So if you're looking at your Zoom console, I expect there's a line through your camera and your microphone. We'll keep the questions going until Gus gets his, there's
Yeah,
Gus,
he's
there he
here.
is. Gus!
Yes, can you see me? Can
Yes,
you
sir.
hear
I
me?
can see you, I
Yes.
can hear you, welcome.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
You're welcome.
I have several questions. I'm been receiving disability check of the amount of $730 a month. I tried to apply of the supplemental insurance, and I was denied in November 2024 of the lack of the evidence because I moved from Miami to Port St. Lucie, and at that time I have neuropathy and Crohn's disease, and I was into several hospitals. I was hospitalized over there, but I lost all the paperwork, medical papers, if you will. I know that everything is been stored on their system, all my medical history. And to make the long story short, I was denied on December 6th or 7th. And how can you help me reapply? How can I obtain my medical records? What can I do on that? I'm just trying to gain to the astronomical $976 a month for what I'm been getting right now.
Right.
That is my first question.
Okay, Gus, good. So I want to make sure you get it. You're getting $976 a month, and that's your Social Security disability amount, and you're trying to get supplemental.
I am getting $730 a month disability check, and I'm trying to increase to get a supplemental insurance, which is the total. It's 970 something a month.
Okay, getting the
The
difference.
numbers are very specific.
Okay. Do you have Medicare?
Yes, I have Medicare, Plan A, Plan B, and Medicare Advantage. And
Okay,
I also have part of the Medicaid, not a full coverage, part coverage,
Okay.
whatever that means.
So you applied for the Medicaid, the state assistance program to get your check bumped up. You had a paperwork that got lost, right?
My medical history, yes.
Okay. All right. So the actual the technical aspect of that's not like a hands-on service that that we provide. Like we could, I'll get on to your Medicare in a minute, but are you looking for like assistance and guidance for somebody to help you get through that paperwork process?
This is correct. And also, I'm looking for some help or advice from you guys. How can I finish this process and get the supplemental to increase my income?
Yeah.
It's simple.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So this is my idea on this. I would contact your local Center for Independent Living. And Nadine, if you would just dig up the link with the video for Gus. So your local Center for Independent Living, and they're in every community, and they have benefit planners. And then explain your situation, and your objective is to get a benefit planner. There's no charge for this, Gus, to work with you to help you get your paperwork, application, your medical supporting information.
Okay. Okay.
That's what they do. So they're
Okay.
paid by the government. They're run by, oftentimes volunteers or some paid help, and this is exactly what they do. So the link that Nadine is going to send you will give you a video. It'll help you understand how to go in to and find your local one. Are you a member here at the Disability Digest?
This is what I was going to go further. I tried many times I fill up the form of the disability digest. I had, for some reason, I didn't get any email and all that, no response from you guys. Somebody wrote here to send an email to help at the disabilitydigest.com, which I'm planning to do it right after we finish. Uh, I'm going to become a member, but
Okay, I'll
the
help you.
system doesn't let me.
I'll save your breath. Nadine, if you would, do you know how to use the chat in this Zoom room? What I would like for you to do is get us your email address, and we'll go in and see if it's set up. If it's not, then we'll set it up. And Nadine can contact you to do that. Or you have that email address, just send that in to that email address. Okay.
I'm doing it right now.
Okay. It would also be good to have your zip code that you're living in. And then when you're done, I'm going to finish up with the reason why we would like your zip code.
I don't have no problem whatsoever.
Yeah. Well, you have a problem getting your Medicaid. That's a different thing, but we're helping you with that. Okay. So why don't you wait and do that when you're done, and then when I can finish up, we'll take the next person in here, Gus. All right.
Thank you, sir.
Here's what with the zip code. One of the things that we can look at is with your income level, you could qualify for a Medicare Advantage plan that has a flex card with it. Are you familiar with these?
Yes, but I have United Health Insurance, and they don't supply that anymore.
Okay. We can look and see if it's an option for you, and if it is, and that's something for you to consider. But
I
oftentimes,
just sent you. Okay.
Okay, got it.
Here's my information.
Okay, great.
I got it.
Oftentimes, especially in Florida, which is super competitive, You can get a flex card. I've seen flex cards for $300, $400 a month that you can use for rent, utilities, food. So, you know, I don't know, but
I am been getting $267. It doesn't call flex card. It's from Medicare, I believe, or from United Healthcare
okay.
for food and utilities.
Okay, that's
Actually, I
good.
do pay my internet service through this card.
Okay, good. So it would need to be something better than 276 plus plus. Okay. Great. So that's the direction. Centers for Independent Living. We have your information. Did we cover everything today to help you out and get you going in the right direction?
For my part, thank you very much. You covered. You're very professional, and I'm going to send the email to the help at the disabilityduddies.com. So they're going to help me become a member to your to your
Right.
group.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Yep. And remember, we have a referral program. If you're looking for extra
I
income,
heard
you
that
don't,
and I
right?
read that. Yes.
Okay, good. We would love to send you some money. Love, love, love it. All right.
Thank you, Mr. Brian. I
Okay.
really appreciate that.
We
Thank you, sir.
appreciate you. Keep us posted. All right.
Okay. Okay. Bye bye.
All right.
All right. Thank you so much, guys. Take care.
Okay.
Yeah, that was all the questions in the comments
All
for
right.
now.
Wonderful. Did we get anybody out there that is supplementing their income? Did anybody come forward and say that they're selling crypto or anything like that? No.
No.
All right.
Mhm.
Good. Listen, folks, I appreciate you coming out today. I want to thank Philip for your questions, Nadine for your support, and that wonderful informational segment that you shared with us on soft skills. That was brilliant. And encourage you folks to come back next week. We'll be here with our next segment. Oh, actually, next week we're going to have a time change. So just look at, I think it's going to be closer to, I should know this, like 5? Yeah,
5.
5. Right.
Mhm.
Okay. That's good. So stay tuned till next week. Make it a great day, everybody. Appreciate you.
See y'all.
Thank you.